Well, we've talked about flashlights on this channel before. They're a type of tool, I guess. And Wuben, I don't know how they pronounce the thing. Anyway, they sent me their new little thing here. This is, it's a cool looking little device. Let's put it on the desk. We'll do a desktop review, go through it, then we'll come back here and talk about what I think about it in the end. All right? All right, we got it on the desktop. This is the box it ships in. It's an interesting looking box. In fact, my daughter snagged it from me. It says this is not a flashlight. This is a Wuben ECL, the Easy Carry Light. They don't want to call it a flashlight because they're special. Guess whatever. Anyway, let's see if we can get into this sucker and see what we got inside. All right, as you can see, it's a butterfly top. As I said, it's a cool box, cool presentation here. You got your instruction manual right up front. It's actually a pretty good little instruction manual. Here's most of your cords and stuff that you're going to need. Or I guess that's the case that it can go into. The cords are underneath there for charging and whatnot. This, I have to say, is really unique. I haven't seen this in any other flashlight. Maybe somebody out there is doing this, but we'll have to come back to this because this deserves a special call out in and of itself. All right, first we're going to open the case, make sure there's nothing in here that goes with the light that we need necessarily to use the light. And actually that kind of is the case because, no pun intended, if you want to use USB charging and it's USB-C, you have to charge it in the case. It does seem to have a coil for contactless charging, but that's not something I use. I'm not set up for that. I have reasons I'll explain later. But as far as the build quality, it's top notch. This is a solid case. It's got a space for a little lanyard, which is kind of ridiculous because it's not like this is something you're going to want to carry around with you in your pocket or something. As far as the light itself, it does have the pivoting head, which is kind of appropriate considering Olight's recent release. But this doesn't feel like it's the same kind of light. This isn't, the Olight feels like it's an EDC / work light. This feels like it's almost an accessory light. It doesn't feel like something I would use. I mean, it's just so small. It doesn't feel like something I'd use as an everyday carry. Maybe there's some of you would. I mean, and I totally get the small form factor and liking that. But it's just too small. It's almost too concept-y rather than function-wise. The button to press is small. It's not hard to press. It's just I have to look at. There's a little bit of texture to it, but it's not something that jumps out to me like, hey, here's the button right there, unless I actually take a look at it. One of the cool things is you sit in there, you can see that it's charging. It actually has taking a charge from the case itself. You can use it while it's in the case, so while you have it plugged in, you can use it. The case itself offers a diffuse lighting kind of solution. As far as how much light this puts out, it does a pretty good job, honestly. It's got a great little, I think they call it a moonlight setting. I don't know, I go back and forth. It's cool looking at the inside, the transparency case kind of light there. Is it necessary though? No. Is it a gimmick? It's not like I'm going to walk around and find it by that. It's not really going to help me with anything. It's not bright enough for that. But anyway, the low light, again, I love a good inspection light. It gets up nice and bright. It's got 3 settings, and then you can, you can do, I can't remember if it's a double or triple press there to go into a turbo mode. And then a long press takes it into the red light mode. So the second LED is a red light here. We'll see if I can show you that here in just a second there. Well, there's the going into the turbo mode. And again, it's a decently bright light. It's not going to be something that's going to replace like your super high lumens kind of stuff, but just for the stuff around you, it's a good enough light. The strobe, I guess, if you're looking for that kind of stuff, epileptic inducing kind of thing. Sorry for those of you who had to see it, but that's what it does. And then I had some issues struggling trying to get through the different button presses. I read the instructions, exactly what it's supposed to do, and it felt like, maybe I'm just not pressing it right. It felt like it didn't want to go into the different modes, but I eventually did get it to do that. So let's see if we can get it to do it again here. They're stepping through all 3 modes, trying to get, there we go. We got the red light to work, and it's a really bright red light. I guess that's a good thing. I guess maybe if you were like on the side of the road or something like that, and you wanted to make sure that people saw you without blinding them. There is a lower setting on it though, and that's probably more useful generally speaking. The red light can be good in situations at night where you don't want to use the flashlight per se, but you need to look at or read something, like look at a map, and you don't want to lose your night vision kind of stuff. That's a great use for something like that. Other than that, it's, well, I'll say my full opinions here for the end. One of the last things I want to talk about is the lanyard. I almost threw the thing away before really looking at it. It comes apart, and I almost threw it away because I don't use lanyards. That's the USB-C charging cable. And on the back, it's got printed a tape measure as well. This thing it feels like fabric. I had no idea this was a charging cable until I looked at the end piece, and there's clearly buttons on it. And built into the end piece is an adapter to take it from USB-C to an Apple charger. I don't remember what they call it. It's not the Lightning charger, whatever the iPhone style charger is. It's sad because I have an iPhone. I don't even know what it's called. All right, so it's a pretty cool little flashlight. I gotta say, it's got a lot of little features. It fits in this little thing for charging, and then you close that, and the top of it will glow and give you like some dispersed lighting as well, which is a nice little setup. And this base is nice and hefty for its size. You can hear it hitting the table there, which keeps it from like falling over. And there's a lot of things I put a cord on, and the cord will, you've seen it. The cord grabs it and knocks it over and stuff. This will stand upright. But what do I think of this as a flashlight? Well, you turn it on. It's daylight here, so it's not the brightest thing. Let's see here. If I can get in there. Oh, blinking. There we go. I showed it on the desktop. But here's my takeaway from it. Look how big this thing is in my hand. This is tiny. It's almost too small. Now, one thing I always like is, can I put it on a ball cap? And let me take off the cowboy hat and find, I got my SK here. Let's try this one. And, would this, well, that, wrong way. Helps if you go the right way with it, apparently. So, I can put it on like that, and now I've got a headlamp, and it's not too bad. Now this thing pivots. I think it pivots the other way. Let's see which way it pivots. See if I can have it. See, oh, it does. It pivots down like that, so I can put it. If I put it on the underside there, then I can have it shining down for me. Let me see here. There we go, and I can have it shining down if I'm working. I always find this a little bit too down. I need it to be more like a 45 kind of thing. So I don't know if that will actually work for what I want. Twisting it, there we go. It's kind of hard to twist it without taking it off. But there, if I twist it forward, it's got a good like moonlight mode, which is great for like, say, looking at electrical panels and stuff like that, so you don't get that glare bouncing back at you. I did that the other day. I was working on something, and I had to use a regular flashlight, and all I could see were stars afterwards. I couldn't see what I was doing. Do I think it's a great light? I'm hesitant. I almost feel like it's too small, is my feeling. And I feel it's a little bit of style over function. I mean, it's got a decent magnet. It does, but what I compare this thing against? Of course I'm going to compare it against some of the other ones I have here. It's not as strong. It's about the same, actually, I guess. I think it's because it's oblong, or the two round ones, kind of, rather than one large circle magnet, two small magnets there. I also don't use contactless charging, so that's not a thing for me. I guess it'd be cool if you had a desk and you had one, you could set it down. My issue is that A, it's really slow. B, it produces heat, last I checked. And also, I'm looking for my phone. I use a magnet connection on my dash. I have this little stand on my dash. I can just stick my phone on because I have a little, if you can see it, a metal plate on it, which blocks any kind of contactless charging. So contactless charging is not something I care about. It's not something I use. I could see if you're really into a line of tools that have that kind of thing, being able to plop them down, and I can see some benefit from it. But at the end of the day, it's a cool flashlight. I don't think it's something. I don't think it's going to make it into my EDC kind of stuff. I honestly don't know if I would grab it much at all. I'll keep it in my side desk. I have a whole bunch of flashlights over here, and we'll see how often, if ever, I grab it. And then I guess at that point, we'll check back in a few months and see if it actually made the grade. So far, I'm going to say it's a cool piece of tech, but not for me. Maybe it's for you. If you'd like something like this over some of the other stuff we've shown here on the channel, let me know down in the comments. But honestly, I think it's a pass.